It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a weekly podcast where we talk about everything that's great. Like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate. Oh, yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris.
My name is Mike.
And this week, we're getting closer to that live-action Gundam movie we all want.
Just love how I've already thrown Chris off.
No.
Just my random circular motion around the microphone.
I have a holiday creamy vanilla Coke Zero in my hands, full sugar. I am ready to rock and roll today.
We have to talk about that soda once you round out this intro real quick.
yes, of course. Sadie Sink is accidentally confirmed for Avengers: Secret Wars a year and a half in advance. Stranger Things last season starts streaming this week. For those who had not been keeping track, Thanksgiving is coming up, and more.
Yes, back to the soda. Last time we talked about this, you picked up one of the zero sugar, creamy holiday vanilla Coke Zero, quite a mouthful, and you sent me this cryptic text message of like, I need a normal one to try to see if they even did anything to this. Yep. And I said, normal one? What do you mean, a Coke Zero or a regular Coke? And you said either. And I was like, what? That makes no sense. I was so confused. So we ended up picking them up after that. And me and my wife, we can taste the vanilla just fine. There's no
it's the vanilla
hidden flavor.
The vanilla's fine. It's the creamy part. Apparently, these are not just this is not supposed to be vanilla Coke. That is the, when you look it up, it's supposed to have a hint of cream flavor in here as well. Because the bottle even says very exclusively, no dairy is in this. Like, it very much says no dairy in this drink at all. Contains no dairy. So I'm like, where is it? What is different between this and a regular vanilla Coke is what I was shooting for, not a regular Coke. I don't care. I can do regular Coke 0 to 0. I don't care. But like, this tastes just like a vanilla Coke to me, and that's fine. I like vanilla Coke. It's just disappointing. I was hoping for a little more variation with the alleged cream that's supposed to be in this drink.
Yeah. The wife and I were kind of like talking about this in general, just of like new flavors at companies, and I guess this goes into a larger like processed food conversation, but we're not going to talk about that. We just like our flavors, and we want it when we want it. But I came across this TikTok video of somebody who was like, they're like some sort of like food packaging expert or something. You find a lot of like niche creative professionals on social media. And this person was just like, nobody makes new foods anymore. Like all of these like companies that you see on the store shelves, like their business model is really just to create new packaging and advertise you stuff. And it's like these central distribution facilities that invent the new flavors. This creator was saying that like if there's like kind of like a smaller brand on your store shelf in your town, and they are selling you like a new flavor of like potato chip or something like that, like these people, like they didn't invent this flavor, right? Like their co-packing facility has their own on-site like food scientists that were just like, hey, we got a new flavor of like, sour cream and onion that we could pitch to you, we could sell you. So after watching this, I was like, oh, it made me appreciate, like, weirdly enough, defending a giant corporation, Coca-Cola a little bit more, because I feel like they definitely have their own food scientists, right? Like I always imagine going into like the Coca-Cola food lab, and they probably just have like a whole wall just lined with like thousands of like flavorings and just like people like tinkering. So that's a long way of saying is I bet like if you put those food scientists in front of their new creamy holiday vanilla and just like a regular like vanilla Coke, oh, they probably taste it and they're like, oh yeah, we're getting like so many different like flavor notes. It's out of control how different this is. People are gonna love it. And then like you give it to like a normal person out in the world, it's like, this just tastes like a vanilla Coke. I think you guys are crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. So it is not as creamy as I because like the adding of creams to soft drinks is a trend the past few years, right? It's rising. We did the Dr. Pepper coconut lime creamer. Was Orange Crush had that creamer? Like you can go. Even Mountain Dew got into it with the Baja Blast with the creamers and the Sweet Lightning with creamers, but like this is just okay. It's getting me through. I like a vanilla Coke, so it's getting me through. But it isn't it's not getting me Christmassy for sure. It's just like vanilla Coke day.
Depending on your region, like normal Coke Zero Vanilla is like a flavor that exists, but I never see it on my shelves out here. So this is kind of like our only chance to experience a kind of vanilla Coke without a freestyle machine. Yeah. Because I don't know if anybody else lost their local Five Guys. But our local Five Guys closed up shop and like left town and took their freestyle machines with them. Oh. So we don't have like a easy accessible like local freestyle machine that we frequent anymore. So like I've been like
Burger King.
I gotta do some hunting, man. I gotta find it. Yeah, I've heard some Burger Kings might have them.
Yeah,
I think there's maybe Jack in the Boxes might have them too.
I can't confirm that. We have one of those, but I didn't go in to look at the drinks. Wendy's, you got a Wendy's. They seem to have staples.
Yeah, we got Wendy's.
Yeah, I tried those too. We actually probably have more. We probably got your Five Guys. They probably moved here because we have so many Five Guys.
I mean, this is the. I mean, we're just moving into like food week here in the United States. Thanksgiving is a week late in a way. It's like one of those weird holidays where they don't pick a date on the calendar. It's the last Thursday of November, which the way things worked out. It's like the last Thursday of the month. It's usually it's the third Thursday. I don't know how they do it. I'm talking myself out of it. Either way, like we have to wait longer to Thanksgiving. We have to wait longer to get into the Christmas spirit.
It is not the third Thursday.
Longer to do shopping.
It is the
There's
fourth
Black
Thursday.
Friday stuff happening.
It's
They're doing
fourth
like
Thursday.
Black Friday stuff like right now.
Yeah.
So it's just like. I'm all thrown off. I did some Black Friday shopping yesterday on Amazon, which was like weird because I was like, I haven't eaten turkey yet. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Black Friday hasn't existed actually in probably 10 years, Mike. So I appreciate you trying to hold on to the vibe of rushing to Toys R Us, knocking down old ladies to get the last deals they had in stores. It's just for the next 4 weeks you're going to see it. But Thanksgiving, it is the fourth Thursday this year. I think it's the last. I think you're right. I think it is the last Thursday of the month.
I had to Google it because I was going crazy.
Yeah.
The law ensures a consistent date by fixing it to the fourth Thursday, which falls between November 22nd and November 28th. So basically, we're falling on the far end of the spectrum for Thanksgiving.
That's right. One of the many spectrums we're falling on for sure. Here at Superhero Slate. About choking. But next year should be the 28th for you. Are you okay? Are we gonna be able to save Mike?
I mean, it's the most important time of the year.
Yeah.
This is where Chris gets up on his soapbox and preaches the one and only movie that everyone should be watching this week.
I'm gonna actually go too because I watched the other one yesterday, and Thanksgiving doesn't get a lot of love because I think. I'm fairly certain it's just an American holiday, right? And it's one of those things that you don't get a lot of movies around.
I think Canada has one, but I think it's like in October or something.
Yeah. So, but way different. Like it's the holiday that falls between Halloween and Christmas. Like it doesn't get a lot of love. There's not a lot of decorations for this. It's mostly fall. You might get a cornucopia. Thank gosh they've got rid of the Mayflower Pilgrims and the Native Americans. We've really moved away from that as a culture, so happy for that. But
we've distilled it down to your Halloween pumpkin, but put the shapes back in that you cut out because it's just the pumpkin.
You just turn it around. Don't even do that. Just turn it around.
Exactly.
Let's see the back of it. It's fine. But Plane, Trains, Automobiles is the movie I love to tell people to remind people to watch every year. It's about Steve Martin going from I think it's Chicago to. It's like Philadelphia or something. It's not a very far trip normally. I've got to look at, but anyway, he's an insufferable man that believes the worst in people, and then he bumps into John Candy, who believes the best in people. So it's just a fun little journey as they travel, trying to get Steve Martin's character home in time for Thanksgiving across planes, trains, and automobiles. Now, yesterday, after lunch, I had lunch, I sat down. I was like, I want to throw on a movie in the background, and I was looking at my Thanksgiving collection. Spider-Man 2002, Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Set at Thanksgiving. Entirely forgot about it. Now, no one's associating Spider-Man with Thanksgiving, but there's definitely the Macy's Day Thanksgiving parade in that, right? Where the Green Goblin comes up and blows those dudes and skeletons. Peter shows up with a jar of cranberry sauce at the Thanksgiving dinner at his apartment with James Franco and Willem Dafoe. And Willem Dafoe finds out, hey, this Peter Parker guy, he's Spider-Man. So really, it's a fun movie. The Spider-Man swinging ages really, really well in this movie. But it is still obviously of its early 2000s camp era, especially with Sam Raimi at the helm. I did look it up. Aunt May, Rosemary Harris, still alive to this day. She's 98 years old. So she is out there. I don't know if she's kicking. I don't know if she's doing anything. But I was like, this is wild. But I love it.
I'm glad you brought up the Thanksgiving Day parade, because imagine the actress that played Aunt May, hunkering down for possibly one of her maybe final Thanksgiving Day parades, and she'll finally get to see a Labubu floating down the parade this year. Saw that headline this morning. Just had to share it with everybody.
The balloons in this Macy's Day parade were very nondescript. Like they're just generic nutcrackers and stuff in the movie. I'm like, where's Goku? I want to see the 2025 version where he's bouncing off a Super Saiyan Blue Goku onto a Kermit the Frog, and obviously a Labubu along the way. So definitely not getting that back then, but it was fun to watch. So two Thanksgiving movies that people can toss on. I will admit, I have my little Superman TV is playing Christmas movies like on repeat over there. I've got the Grinch was on, Frosty the Snowman. I'm pretty sure I've seen Miracle on 34th Street. Ernest Saves Christmas was on there at one point. Ernest movie for every holiday, I'll tell you right now, except Thanksgiving. So, but yeah, so let's get into the news this week. Mike, this is a movie they've been threatening us with for a long time. And it's a Mobile Suit Gundam live action adaptation. And honestly, I'll be completely transparent. I thought Netflix was going to try to snag this up because, like, Netflix
it
live
does
action
feel like it, right?
Yeah, like their animation, like their anime adaptations are huge. It feels very CGI heavy. But this was announced several years ago, and now it's getting even more traction by looking at actor Noah Centineo, who was known as Atom Smasher and Black Adam. He is, I think, Ken in the upcoming Street Fighter. He's also been cast as Rambo in the Rambo reboot. He was at one point He-Man in the Masters of the Universe movie, but he had to drop out. Alongside everyone's favorite Gene model, Sydney Sweeney, who definitely isn't ruffling any feathers in the world. But I love Gundam is such an interesting property, Mike, because it started in 1979 as an animated show and has many, many iterations in different universes, different timelines, different Gundams. It has gotten to the point where, the idea of science fiction has advanced so far that a lot of the newer ones are like, oh, they're moving faster than the speed of light. There's so many guns and jets on these things that are kind of unwieldy. But, this movie is allegedly adapting Mobile Suit Gundam, the 08th MS team, which is, originally around the 1 Year War, which is where the original Gundam is set. So, the Gundams are pretty basic. They've got that, what's that called on the head piece there? The yellow V. It's whatever in the middle of their forehead. If you see a Gundam, you know what a Gundam is. It's one of those deals. But go on.
Yeah, I don't know if it has a technical term. I had to look this movie back up because I'm sure we've talked about it since it was originally rumored or in development with Jordan Voight Roberts, who did Kong Skull Island. But now it looks like on IMDb it has written and directed by one person, Jim Mickle, who was known for Sweet Tooth. And when I read that, I feel like, maybe we did talk about this on the show. So this is kind of just a way of saying, this has been stretching and going on forever that I can't really keep track of it anymore. But I remember the crazy thing about Gundam is it's huge, but it's not the originator, I believe, of big mechs in Japan. It's a very cultural story to tell over there. They just love their big robots. But Gundam was definitely the first thing to come to the West that made us go maybe we could just pilot big old robots that look like humans. That would be pretty sick. But the 8th MS team, I'm not super familiar with because if I recall correctly, just off the top of my dome, I feel like Gundam Wing hit the United States first with Toonami. That's where it really broke big.
That was the big.
Once Gundam Wing was. Yeah. Then once they were done with Gundam Wing, they were just like, oh, there's so much more Gundam we can ship over here. Like, what do we do next? And the only thing I remember next was the Gundam Wing the Gundam when it was like a tournament, but I don't remember what that was called.
G Gundam.
G Gundam, that's right. And then somewhere along the lines, I think the 8th MS team came out. And I either missed it. I don't know if they changed their programming blocks. They moved it to a different hour when I was or wasn't in school or what the deal was. But I had to Google it, and apparently it's a little bit more gritty, a little bit more like kind of like boots on the ground, if you will. So that kind of feels like it could be better for adapting to live action. But I feel like big mechs like live action style have been like proven to work now.
Yeah.
We can do that in Hollywood. We can make it work. We got the visuals. We've already told some stories like this. So, and you brought up a great point of like Netflix, like we're making anime work over here. So, yeah, I'm excited for Gundam.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like Mike's right. There's original Gundam, which is like the standard stuff that was like 79, and then like it had a sequel. It was like Gundam Zeta Gundam, then Double Zeta Gundam, and like there's this one big timeline. It's all about the space colonies versus Earth, and like they build these big things to fight. It's like it's all war. It's all about war is hell, and these kids are fighting this war. And the 8th MS team. I think it debuted in the 90s in Japan, but much later it came. I think it got like adapted over here much later, kind of like Mike said. But this is set in that time frames, and I recently watched. I think Netflix did a Gundam show. It was like a CG, like a modern CG kind of show, and it felt like a fever dream because like when you ever watch Resident Evil. Like CG cutscenes or like Metal Gear Solid cutscenes. It's like you got like this one girl with a high ponytail and like very like scantily clad clothes in a military zone. I'm like, what is happening? Like I understand like this is part of like Japan storytelling, but it's really really wild. But yeah, the 8th MS team, if they tell us, it's more about you're right, like a small Gundam team or a small team with a hidden Gundam like doing jungle warfare. And I believe I just looked it up, Mike. I see it on Hulu. The season. It's just 24 episodes is on Hulu, as well. So
I can manage that. I think I can manage that.
And for those who may or may not like it, it's in dubs and subs if you want both of them. So
there we go.
You can check that out. But Gundam Wing again, like Mike said, that's my go-to. I'm familiar with G Gundam. I've played a lot of video games. I was in a Michael's craft store earlier this week with my wife. And they have Gundam models at Michael's craft store. Like you can actually
that's a pervasive.
Yeah,
they can get into a craft store like that.
Exactly. So I was like, damn, this is actually kind of worth going to the store now. So
like as for the casting, I mean, it is news that Noah Centineo is being added to this movie, but with that, I didn't realize Sydney Sweeney was already attached to it, which is pretty crazy because her star power is like. Top, like if I had to look at like her star meter on IMDb, like love her or hate her, I think she's in the top 10. So if she is being added to a Gundam movie, I feel like they have high hopes for this kind of breaking through, or maybe they need a big actor like Sydney Sweeney to like bring it to the masses. But I had no idea.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm excited for this as well. I'm going to keep my hopes tempered. But obviously, hopefully, it gets some people, maybe introduces new audiences to Gundam who maybe hadn't seen it or were familiar that there's so much to do, watch, and I guess read as well with this. Last week, we talked about The Legend of Zelda being filmed with some shaky cam screenshots from behind set lines, but now we have official images showcasing both the Link and Zelda actors here. They are, again, like as we said, Bo Bragason as Zelda and Benjamin Evan Ainsworth as Link. So we got their official set. Miyamoto himself, Mike, has gone on to this Twitter account from Nintendo and has asked us to wait patiently and look forward to it. So I'm pretty sure that's his request, saying please don't take photos from behind the set until we want to show this off. But other than this image looks pretty fun. I mean, this looks like a live action Zelda movie, I guess. Link and Zelda.
Yeah, Yeah, there's kind of a part of me that goes like, oh, I don't know what I expected. It's kind of one of those like insanely iconic characters that we've yet to see officially adapted into live action. So it's kind of like when you see it at first, your mind goes, oh, is this just cosplay?
Yeah.
Right? Because it seems so alien, like in an official term to see it. But, once you're all in the edit.
Elf ears take me out. It's something about elf ears just take me right out of this. And I know they have the elf ears. I understand the Zelda and Link, and they got that. I want to see. You think he's going to have a water temple? Think they're going to do a water temple in this, Mike?
There could be like a pretty funny one-off joke of just like, oh, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go through all that.
Because I played I said the first one I have, The Legend of Zelda, the gold cartridge for Nintendo. I played that to death and back. And obviously you don't get Link, but you have like the bow and arrows, the bombs, the shield, the sword. Is it Master Sword? Is that the name of it? So
yep.
I'm excited to see those kind of come to life along the way. So you can check out that official image. It's like 3 to put together here from the Nintendo Twitter account that came out earlier this week. And I'm going to go ahead and just briefly touch on the Toy Story 5. After we talked about the army of Buzz Lightyears last week, we got an official image of the Buzz Lightyear army from Empire showing off the upcoming 2026 movies. And I love seeing these little Buzz Lightyears, and it reminds me of small soldiers, Mike, is what I'm trying to get at here. It's little Buzz Lightyears in like a lush forest with their arms, but like I miss Small Soldiers after I saw this image. I'm like, God, that was a good movie from the 90s.
Me too. Loved it.
I asked my wife about it because actually I was at a Peddler's Mall and they had some of the toys. I'm like, oh, I remember having some of these like army dudes, and she was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Small Soldiers. The toys came to life. She's never seen it, so that might be on my journey here. But so Toy Story 5 again coming next year. I just wanted to bring this to light that hey. We spoke it into existence after talking about last week. Here's your first look at those Buzz Lightyears with their laser arms out, ready to go. We're going to stay in the Disney world for just a second. Frozen. Well, this show may not cover Frozen. I think this is an interesting thing here is that Kristen Bell, Josh Gad, and Idina Menzel have reportedly signed up for 2 more movies, Frozen 3 and 4, at $60 million each, making them the highest paid voice actors for Disney movies. Over there, and people are like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. But this is 2 movies that we paid over the release and productions of the films, as well as contingent on box office performance. But this made me start thinking, Mike, how much extra do you think they record being Disney characters, right? Like the extra shorts, the extra movies, the placements at the parks. I assume video games at some point, crossovers, stuff like that. There's got to be a lot more than just they're getting paid for movies. Like you're going to be voicing a lot of promotional materials as well, right? Like that's got to be part of this over X amount of years.
I would also think, I don't know if I would consider any of these 3, maybe Kristen Bell more than any voice actors. I feel like Kristen Bell has lended her voice to other things. But basically, if you're getting enough work, I think they put a lot of like sound recording booths in their own homes. Mm-hmm. So if you can get that done, hell, like any sort of like follow up voice work is as easy as just walking into the next room, lay down some tracks. So that's a hefty sum.
Yeah,
that is nothing to flinch at.
I know Josh Gad is he's unrelated to this, but he will be in Wonder Man. Later this year or next year in January for Marvel, playing himself as like an actor in the world there, which is pretty. He's a pretty funny guy. I think he could pull it off a little bit, but just I don't know. Do you think we're gonna get any original Disney movies anytime? I think Hopper's had a trailer this week. I didn't put in here, but like, is that like, are we at the cusp of just Disney mining sequels with Toy Story 5, Frozen 3 and 4? I don't know. Any thoughts on that? Because you have a daughter, you have a young daughter. This is going to be your life very soon when these things start coming out. So I'm curious for your sake.
Yeah, it is kind of weird, right? There's kind of been this discourse that I've seen slowly crop up where like Bob Iger seems to get, a lot of credit for being this transformational like CEO for Disney. And he is, but the way that he's done it, it seems to be primarily through acquisitions. And of course, he's always deemed himself to be like kind of like the creative CEO, right? So he likes to weigh in on story and stuff. So maybe a lot of his opinions have shaped a lot of the movies that we really, really liked. But yeah, there is kind of like a question of just like, oh, what does the future of Disney look like when it's not just like buying things, right? When you have to actually kind of stop and like, oh, we got to like make new stuff from whole cloth or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, you know, is there a future where like Hopper spins off into something big? I don't know. There was like a new trailer for Hoppers that came out.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Funny.
Yeah. Well, that Zootopia 2
great.
was like how long has Zootopia has been in the world of like they had the one movie and then a show last year or 2 years ago and now the movie. Like it took forever for that to get spun around as well. So I don't know. I mean, again, it's nothing. I'm not complaining. I'm just more curious here because, like, I don't know. I feel like we're due for a Disney Renaissance again, right? Like I feel like we're on the cusp of maybe getting a Renaissance, but I don't know.
It would be nice because I feel like they've moved on. Like, did you see that live action Moana trailer?
Yeah, the shot for shot remake of the animated version.
It's so weird because I guess it's a tribute to how good the visuals look in the original Moana movie, but like the shot that stood out to me was the one where it's like baby Moana, she walks into the water and like the water's kind of like tipping over like it's a character like looking down at her, and then the water in the live action trailer almost looks identical, like it looks visually exactly the same, but then there was a creative choice to like instead of like do like a baby, which I guess would be hard to film live action, or like a toddler, there's just like a 3-year-old or something there, so it doesn't really feel as kind of, you know, charming and cute as like a little innocent baby. So I don't know. I mean, the live action movies have never been for me, but this one feels weird and different.
Well, I think it's because it's so recent. Like it's a recent remake. A lot of the other ones have been more like longer periods, right? Like this is the movie's maybe 10 years old, coming up on 10 years old shortly.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, I give a pass, but the effects, the CGI, the compositing on this trailer look shitty. Like when she like says the I am Moana part, I'm like, I can tell you're on a green screen. Like I can tell. Like it's one of those things. I try to give it the benefit of the doubt, but like come with your best foot forward if you're gonna do that. And I just don't feel it's there. So, but Frozen again, originally an original movie. Is it 2012? I think we talked about last week or a couple weeks ago. So, you know, good for them to be able to mine that one to death as they move forward. I'm gonna step back and let Mike on his soapbox for a minute here because I know he's got one. But Paramount has scrapped the live action Last Ronin Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and they are moving with the next live action film to Sonicify it because Neil H. Moritz, known for Fast and Furious, is in charge, but he also produced the Sonic movies, and this is there's two sides. This number one, I just saw an article today that PG/PG-13 movies have bolstered the box office performance lately. So it's hard to sell a live action hard, you know, our gritty turtle movie, but god damn, we were so close, Mike.
We were so close, and we were kind of still in this era, you know, like Deadpool was raking in money. There was we still haven't seen that like Blumhouse like Spawn movie yet, but that's supposed to be dropping at some point, you know. So we were getting like these like darker, you know, IPs, and like, oh, this would be really, really cool. You know, we've seen live action renditions of the Turtles before, but this one, you know, was going to be different. You know, we would be in like a slightly different, you know, world too. I've never read The Last Ronin, but isn't it like in post-apocalyptic, or is the world different? I'm trying to remember.
It's kind. I think it's a little darker future, kind of like I would say more like a Blade Runner style future. Like the Foot Clan and like other corporations and Shredder have like more power than we're used to.
Like that would have been so cool to kind of see this other version of it. But also it's like, I guess the little bit of bitterness with my medicine, because it sounds like they're going to go all in on bringing the live action Turtles back. I guess quotes around live action, because I'm one of the few defenders of the Michael Bay produced Turtles films. He didn't direct these movies, folks. I don't remember the director's name, but Michael Bay just produced them. But maybe this is their chance. Okay, this is funny. Okay, because I was trying to figure out what the hell is Sonicifying the Turtles, because if anything, I would say they turtleified Sonic, because the Turtles have been live action twice already in real suits and then also CG'd. But then I started thinking, Sonicify it could mean something totally different. Sonicify could mean take a visual style that everyone hated, except for me, and then make it look better. So everyone hated those Michael Bay produced turtle nostrils. So maybe they could Sonicify it and go back and redo it and make some more visually appealing live action CG turtles. Because the only other way I can read Sonicify is just cast the Turtles as some well-known comedic actor voices that you'll never see on screen.
They've already done that several times. Johnny Knoxville was Leonardo at one point.
Exactly. And then get yourself some sort of like James Marsden-esque type live action character to draw people in. But now that I'm saying it, it's like they kind of did that. Like Megan Fox, she was the live action draw in, and Will Arnett, I would say, is kind of maybe on par with a James Marsden kind of like vibe on screen. So yeah, Sonic style just means make live action Turtles. So I would like to see the live action universe come back. We need Turtles to stick around long enough so I can see some of these other villains, right? We always get Shredder up front, right? We get Shredder right away. If we're lucky enough, we get a little bit of Krang, and then the franchise crashes out and we never get any more. So if they could stick around for a little while, we could see some other characters. I'd love to see like a live action Technodrome. I don't believe we got that.
It was kind of the second one there, the second Michael Bay one where Krang was involved in that one.
Yeah, there was like some sort of like big ship. I don't know if maybe that was supposed to be the Technodrome.
We need Dimension. We need Dimension X stuff from Turtles.
Yeah, get weird with it. Bring in like multiverses. Everyone loves multiverses now, or I don't know, maybe they don't. Be crazy to see like the live action like puppet suit Turtles, come in and be on the screen with these other characters.
Was the dinosaurs? Remember, like they had like the Triceratops, the dinosaurs, like whatever, like where they had the villains. I can't think of their name. Like get into the weird stuff like that you don't see but are there and have been there. Triceratons. There it is.
Yeah, mutify it up. But also, all that being said, do not touch my animated Mutant Mayhem Seth Rogen universe. I love those movies so much. I'm so excited for the short Chrome Alone to drop soon. I think that SpongeBob movie comes out like at any minute now. And then I want at least 2 more of those movies. Like I know we're getting a sequel, and I think they even stated it's still inactive. They're still making it, which is good. But I want a 3rd one. Give me a trilogy of these crazy, janky-looking animated Turtles.
You need to start your campaign now. Get them out there for that. I think that'll be the trick. Getting that movie to make money will be the only way that they can go. Because for me, Sonic's not like I've watched the Sonic movies. I did not watch Knuckles TV show, but I do like the Sonic movies. They are fun. They lean into the games a little bit, and I think if they can lean into the video games, right, the side scrolling turtle beat 'em ups where they have foot soldiers and the Triceratons and all the other weird stuff. The it's not battle toads, like the other dudes that are like kind of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they're like lizards. They're kind of like them. They just need to do some fun stuff like that. So hopefully they can do something, but it is at the expense of The Last Ronin. Maybe this will spawn someone to do like a fan film that could kick it off, maybe along the way. Yeah, we're on a hold for that for the time being. Moving into other, I guess more franchises. Game of Thrones, both shows have been picked up through 2028. House of the Dragon renewed through a season 4, and A Night of the Seven Kingdoms getting season 2. I don't know these stories. I've not watched these shows. However, I guess they're trying to greenlight these before Warner Brothers actually gets bought or purchased, so they can go ahead and see them through without someone coming in and just canceling them right away.
Yeah,
is my guess.
I think R.R. Martin also said somewhere recently that they're developing something like as a sequel to Game of Thrones, like it's going to continue the timeline into the future. I've pretty much fallen off the Game of Thrones bandwagon.
They've tried about it.
I feel like the only I feel like the only thing that's going to get me back is if you bring the actors back in, you bring back that original storyline, and you move forward. Like maybe that perks my ears up and I watch an episode or two. But I'm busy watching Pluribus right now on Apple. So
I mean
that's my go-to.
House of the Dragon's been. I've not heard bad things about it. It's fine. Night of the Seven Kingdoms hasn't even got season 1 out yet. So like I said, I think they're doing this. I think this is also based on like what the Duncan Egg is, like short stories, as well. House of the Dragon isn't. They've got to wrap that up sooner than later. They're getting through a lot of the big points. So I think this might be the thing. But like, yeah, if they're going to continue this franchise, there's been about 15 different things out in the world they've tried to do with this, right? Like it's never or talked about doing. So maybe they'll pull a Dexter Resurrection. And pick it up several years later and be like, oh, we're gonna undo all the negative energy from the last season and try to do a couple seasons to end on a better note, if you will, like you said. But this sounds just like green lights before a sale, so they can keep them in production, or at least get these producers their credits and checks coming in after the sale. As we mentioned at the top of the show, Stranger Things Season 5 is landing this week on Netflix. There are 4 episodes on Wednesday, November 26th. 3 episodes will be before Christmas, and the finale will be the New Year's. So, that's more of a, I don't know, say like a spoiler warning, but yeah, if you get on the internet anytime Thursday before watching these, my guess is there's going to be out there. This is going to envelop headlines for the next week. At least. Yeah,
there's going to be some household battles of what do we watch after Thanksgiving dinner. Do you whip out Elf, Home Alone, the Christmas classics, now that it's finally officially the season? Or you're just like, no. I got to watch 11, like use your telekinesis and melt some sort of nightmare creature.
Yeah. I still think a lot of the trailer has been the first 4 episodes. So I'm excited to see how much action they kick off. These are pretty lengthy, right? It's like an hour and a half. I'm going to look up episode length here of these. So the first, 1 hour and 8 minutes, 54 minutes, 1 hour and 6, 1 hour 23. Average these out, you're like 4.5 hours right here. This is about the same length I'm going to be sitting through to watch Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, which is 4 hours and 35 minutes. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see kind of how they wrap this up, knowing they had a lot of time. Speaking of Game of Thrones, the show that this show knew where the ending's going to be and what they're doing. I'm excited to see how they do this along the way. So get ready for that. Well, we're going to talk about a Stranger Things actress here for a second. Sadie Sink was confirmed by, I think, was it Variety? Or Deadline, one of the two, actual reporting things, not a leak, not a rumor mill, so an actual report that her character from Spider-Man, Brand New Day, will appear in Avengers Secret Wars. And this was sent to me at like 7 a.m. on like Wednesday of this week. And by the time I got to like 7:30, they'd already updated the article to scrub any of this information. It was even in the title, Mike, is how bad this was. And I am interested of how that kind of came through and literally what happened.
Yeah, I mean, that should mean, if this is, true indeed, because it's kind of weird, right? Because this is like an entertainment publication, right? So, they'll report, strong, rumors, or if they have insider sources, they'll go ahead and report it, right? So the fact that it's being redacted, it makes me wonder, like, if it's not true or they couldn't trust their source or what was going on there. But if we are to take it as fact, it makes me think that Sadie Sink's character must be important enough to need to fall and spill over into the next movie, right? I don't know what it would be. If Spider-Man, gets like trapped in some sort of like alternate battle world at the end of his movie, like maybe Sadie Sink like falls through like the same portal or whatever, and then she's stuck, or maybe she's like super powered.
I think you forget our previous rumors discussion of when she was hired last year's. Number one, some people think she's Peter Parker's from the movie I watched, what's his name, Tobey Maguire's daughter, Mayday, and that she's come through somehow this cross universe thing, which I don't think there's going to be much cross universe in this. The other part is people have rumored the hell out of it that she's Jean Grey. Like, this is the MCU's Jean Grey, and she just happens to be, she doesn't have her powers yet, is another one. She could be Mary Jane Watson, an act like the other one's like Michelle Jones is her name, right? Like MJ. So this could be the actual Mary Jane Watson. She's got red hair. There's a dozen ways this can do it, but like this is, I don't know. This is a very, number one, it's from Deadline. I did pull up the article. It was from Deadline, and they did scrub it out, and it was like, yeah, this was just not supposed to be revealed kind of deal. Like, it wasn't like the whole article was redone. So it's very interesting of how they come there. But like, also, we don't even have Spider-Man Tom Holland confirmed for Doomsday. But I think we could have put money on it. He'd be in Secret Wars. So this is at least kind of give us our first casting announcement for Secret Wars, and that Spider-Man will play a part in it. But like, they are doing shooting of Spider-Man, still filming, and she's still on set with that. But they're shooting Secret Wars in London in 2026, so that she might stay there, I guess, after filming, and take that on. I don't know. I have no idea what to do with this, but like, this is like one of those situations we talked earlier. Right now, there's so much AI imaging of like the classic actors in their alleged new suits that people have described. There's not real set photos, like, or character photos. They're just, hey, this is what this person saw, put them in it, kind of outfit, which is wild. But like, this is like not an AI image. This is like an actual article. So like, I'm like, this is like one hard fact that we can take out of this, rather than, oh, is this an AI image of her on a Doomsday set along the way? Like, she's not in a Spider-Man suit or Mary Jane suit, so pretty fun with that. And then other news for Spider-Man, this is gonna shock you, Mike. You're probably gonna be so shooketh after I tell you, but Marvel wants their own take on the Venom symbiote, meaning no Tom Hardy.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I mean, are you surprised that Marvel wants to do their own thing with that?
Not at all. I mean, it's going to be so incredibly easy for them to add the symbiote. They've already fleshed out the cosmic side of the MCU. Like, there's so many like clever, interesting ways they could bring a symbiote to Earth. That like it could almost like come off of like, they could do something silly, like where it comes off of like, Star-Lord's like boot or something. Like, he brought it back when he went to go see his was it his uncle? I'm trying to remember who it was at the ends of Guardians 3.
Oh, his grandpa.
Whatever family member it was. There's so many funny ways the symbiote could make it.
They don't have to do that. That would be rich. But like, do you remember when the symbiote first appeared in Marvel comic books?
Yeah, it was Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Number 8.
Well, the cover at least, yes. Yeah. And what movie is coming out in 2027?
Oh, it's Secret Wars.
Yeah, they could probably.
My comic, investment is going to go up, hopefully. Yeah.
So if they put that suit in there, or maybe that's how he gets it, it would be a direct tie to the comic book, and it would, they could absolutely pull it away. Sony still, I guess owns these movies, I guess, but like, they can pull it out from like that storyline. They don't have to tie it in to anything else, which is really, really good for them. Speaking of Avengers Doomsday, Kelsey Grammer is also doing interviews, and he's mentioned that he's worked with both Robert Downey Jr. and Pedro Pascal on scenes. And I think when he said that, he realized he wasn't supposed to say that. But I would love to see Beast with Mr. Fantastic. And I know it's not Iron Man, but like Doctor Doom, like if he has like 3 science bros broing out in this movie. Like, that isn't just Iron Man and the Bruce Banner. I'm excited for that. This will be a fun little science bro down with these 3 characters.
Yeah, it makes me think, I guess Kelsey Grammer's got some mocap dots on him or something, because my assumption was that in the post-credit scene for the Marvels, I didn't think Kelsey Grammer was actually there. Like, that was a fully CG beast. Like, he was like burly, you know, like, so I'm not saying they don't have the technology to put that.
I guess I thought it'd be
Grammer.
mocapped as well for that one, probably.
Yeah, but I guess he's got shoes on the ground on set.
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen any. I've seen one AI photo of him, but obviously he is not in a beast outfit. Like Mystique is in her blue skin, Rebecca Romaine, and Nightcrawler is in his blue skin. I know they're coming back, but like that's all prosthetics and makeup. But Beast absolutely will not be going forward. I think they're going to reuse that look from X-Men 97 and that movie. Jon Favreau has it been asked, what are you going to do with The Mandalorian after the movie next year? The Mandalorian Grogu movie hitting theaters in May. Going to make that season 4 after it. And he says, no season 4 is confirmed right now, but he, quote, has scripts on his desk if they wanted to come back to it. I don't think there is a way they retroactively go back to Disney Plus after a film, Mike. I don't think we'll get another season. If anything, they would adapt those into a movie if this one's financially successful. What is your take?
Or unless the story is like written to be like some sort of epilogue in a way, right? Maybe it's just like a couple of episodes. I mean, one thing I didn't really like, I feel, about some of those later episodes and seasons of The Mandalorian, it kind of felt thin sometimes. Like, it's almost very believable that like Jon Favreau could kind of just like sit down over like a short span of time and just like bang out a bunch of scripts, because like there wasn't like a whole lot happening in that last season. I didn't really like it. So it makes me wonder the quality of these scripts that are sitting on his
I assume they're not
wrote for maybe no reason.
Well, I assume they're not final scripts. They're probably more like maybe script outlines. Like, I don't think they're like shooting scripts. They're probably like, I got an idea. Because obviously they had to pivot into the movie, so they have some ideas. My guess is maybe one of the episodes was pulled into the movies, or maybe like 2 of them or so. But so like, you think like maybe like an epilogue, like one episode, like a send off if the movie doesn't do well. Maybe
like, it'd be kind of fun if it was maybe like 3-4 episodes. They release them all at once just to kind of like send the character
like a final arc. Yeah.
Like timeline wise, I don't think we'd be able to see Pedro return in like modern canonical Star Wars, right? He'd be like too old in a way.
Yeah, it'd be like another 20 years. I don't even think he'd show up. I don't think he'd show up for any of this. I think he'd show up in the recording booth they built in the back of his house. But I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't know. We don't know how old this. We could probably figure out how old the character is in there. But like, if he does appear in the new forward timeline, Grogu's got to be talking age, right? Like, he'd be about 75 to 100, I guess, in Earth years. So he better be talking age if they do pull him forward. But yeah, I think the ending of the last one's like, they step on their little outpost porch and watching the world go by. But I'm interested to see where this movie takes, and I think if it does make money and is financially successful, they will do another one, wholeheartedly, right? Like, it may not be a good sequel, but they'll probably do another one if everybody likes us at the end of the day. But Star Wars, they got them some troubles over there, Mike. From Star Wars Visions season 2, season 3's out, but this is from season 2. India Studio 88 Pictures has been accused of ripping off fight choreography from a fan film in one of the episodes, season 2, episode 7, that came out in 2023. And if you look here, the choreography is the same, the camera angles are the same, even the editing is very, very close in this, one for one here.
I saw this on Threads the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, this is unabashedly. Before I read the caption, I thought it was like, oh, these people adapted
the other way
this like Star Wars short into a live action. I was like, oh wow, they did a really good job. And I was like, oh okay, well it makes sense that they couldn't get a hold of like a double bladed like red lightsaber. Those are probably hard to find, and the way it spins around, it's like, oh no, the other way they added that to it. So yeah, it is an unfortunate situation because like this is something that would be incredibly hard to catch. Right, this is a fan film because like if you put yourself in the seat of the studio, right? The studio, they find their artists. They could be in-house, maybe they're contracting out to work on these scenes, and like these board artists are putting together the action scenes. They're going on the internet looking for inspiration, which is totally fine. And either one was crunched with a deadline or two didn't care and just straight up lifted the choreography from something they figured nobody would ever put two and two together. And then, the studio heads at, what is this, 88 Pictures, they're not going to know. And especially if like if the artist never like fessed up to it, and then of course up the ladder no one's gonna know until it comes out, and then of course somebody that's so passionate about Star Wars enough to make their own live action short, there's probably a very high chance they're gonna watch this and then they're gonna accuse you. So very short-sighted on the artist's point of view.
Well, I'm interested in the 2-year time span to find this. As well. It just shows how not unpopular, how very niche Visions is, I guess. That it would take someone 2 years to figure this out along the way. Not saying it's right or wrong. This is a sticky situation, and I'm only gonna say this because we've talked about this before. Do the original creators own fan films? Like what do they own of that? Because it is, iterations of a property they own. Now I'm not condoning this at all. I'm not condoning copying this. They should have at least had them in the discussions, but I'm like, it's a gray area to me. Like I'm like, which is first, the chicken or the egg in this situation? Star Wars.
I mean, it's like there. I don't think there's any legal ramifications here. I don't think you can copyright, choreography in a way, though. Those people, I think Fortnite did get in trouble for kind of taking people's viral dances.
You cannot do. Yeah,
they didn't.
No, it was ruled you can't copyright a dance move.
Okay,
there you go. But they played fair and paid the people and took some of the ones down. They were like, you know what, fine, but here's some money.
It's mainly just embarrassing for 88 Pictures because I would assume that they fired whoever just straight up, stole these frames to do it. And then they have to like make sure that their image isn't sullied. It's just like, well, we still want people to send us work. We want to get these contracts, so we don't want people to think that our artists are out here just like cribbing stuff from other people. It's like a difference between like homage and just like a lift, right? Like everybody has done the Akira motorcycle slide.
Yeah.
Everyone. There's like montages of all different places to do it. But that's like an homage. That's kind of like honoring something that they really, really liked. This is just like, oh, I found somebody that already did the work for me, so I took it from them.
Yeah, we kind of rotoscoped it. And then I'm not familiar with copyright law in other countries. To be transparent with you, and I don't know about India. But I pulled up, I saw that this is not the first time animation studios out of India have done this or been accused of this. I believe it's, if you look here, God of War, the more recent God of Wars on PlayStation 4, their animations were taken by another studio for a movie that they did, an animated movie they did, like identical, like Kratos versus a villain, like just fighting, and you can see shot for shot camera angles, legs, dust, debris kind of thing. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if that's encouraged or it might be acceptable over there. I don't know. I just don't know.
I think it's a problem literally everywhere on the planet, right? It's a tale as old as time. Like how many times have people like discovered, what was it? Was it called Kubo or something? Like the
two strings?
I think it was Japan. No, there was like the one where like somebody made The Lion King already, and then Disney came along. She's like, "No, I want that."
Oh no, that's
even though it's
Kimba,
all a derivative of some Kimba. That's what it was.
The White Lion.
So I think this kind of stealing across like political or like I want to say state lines, but I mean
geographical.
I think that's been happening everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
And you just think people won't. People won't notice. I mean, geez, there's so many like Kurosawa films that like have kind of quote unquote been stolen and like westernized in a way. So it's a bigger conversation to have. But if you just look at this specific thing, it's just like, oh yeah, this is a total lift.
Yeah.
Like you didn't want to have to think of fight choreography because you were probably like slammed with deadlines, so you just took it and then you just hope nobody would find out.
Yeah,
and they probably were like, oh wow, I got away with it for a while until all of a sudden you didn't.
Because I'm interested. Because the I have here in the notes the fan film was made by Lorenz Hideyoshi, who does all those stunts for the Dune movies. So, and he did that in 2019. I am looking to see if I'm trying to see if 88 Studios has said anything, because everyone's like, "Oh, Disney did this." I don't think anyone at Disney knew what the hell was going on. If I'm going to be completely honest, like there's so many layers to this. Yeah.
If this fan film was made by people that are working in the industry, what I would do if I was Dave Filoni is I would like bring these people in like for a meeting, like not necessarily like to hire them and put them on a job, but at least you'd be like, hey, apologies, we didn't even know this happened. This was so many chains removed from us. No excuse, but it shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But, like your work's great. What do you guys have on your schedule? We have like some choreography work. I feel like there's ways that they can.
And I think they will. But at the same time, I don't think it was Star Wars or Lucasfilm or Disney being like, yeah, go copy this studio in another country that's making a fan film. So I'm looking up, it's 88 Pictures, not 88 Studios. I need to correct that. No, I put it in there right. So I'm just kind of looking it up. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look up, see if they've said anything either, because that's interesting. I want to see what the next what if anything comes out of it. I don't think it will, but we'll see if it does. Moving on. Last week we talked about Lanterns coming out in beginning of the year. Now they've gone on record. I think that was like a misstatement. Someone said no, Lanterns will be an end of summer 2026 release on HBO Max, and that's probably why we haven't seen any more images out of the show yet, Mike. If it was coming out early 2026, I bet we'd see a lot more photos of the show. So they're probably working on it.
We'll have to see what streaming service it eventually releases on. They might have different owners. But
I would be surprised if it takes less than a year for Warner Brothers to be merged with somebody else. I think it would be a pretty long process. So I think it'll still be Max. But anyway, Lanterns, like I said, show I'm excited for. Very, very, very excited for that to come to fruition. Last bit of news here. It's a rumor / casting kind of hint. Man of Tomorrow casting could be a potential Wonder Woman. And they're looking at a new female hero being cast for this movie. She's described as in her late 20s, having an edge to her. And what's interesting is there's a height requirement for this character, and they're looking for a taller actresses. And in addition, the character's being described as being a warrior and having a strong physique. So all these details are pointing to the character being Wonder Woman. So could be Wonder Woman. It'd be interesting if maybe that's Wonder Woman's debut as Brainiac brings her and her people to Earth, the DC Earth, instead of them just always being there, because Brainiac likes to take other cultures, put them in little bottles, bring them along for the ride.
I mean, this is the advantage of this universe kind of already being preheated. Right, the oven's already at 350. You can throw the chicken nuggets in. Like you can just have Wonder Woman show up to the party, and Clark may not know who she is in the scene, but Mr. Terrific probably knows who she is. Half of the other people could know who she is, and it's not going to be weird. We've already seen an interdimensional imp. It's not going to be weird to see an Amazonian just show up. We don't need to build up Themyscira as being something realistic when we have portals that'll hop you to other worlds and planets.
It's interesting you say it, because this is that's exactly what Zack Snyder tried to do, right? When he introduced her in Batman v Superman, he's like, here's Wonder Woman, she's holding a sword between her butt cheeks in this dress. And remember that scene where it's like, how's she holding the sword? No, okay. But she shows up in. I think Wonder Woman and Batman v Superman is one of the best parts of that movie. So I believe if they can want to bring her in and do something with her, that's fine. But I think some people out there probably can correct me if I'm wrong. Stuff I remember from Brainiac is he had the Bottle City of Kandor, which is Supergirl's city parents from Krypton, and I think he was like using her as like controlling her, or like using her as the weapon to take over other planets as he like went around. And I think she was like a villain at first till she was freed. I think, could be very wrong, I might just be confusing different endings of the Injustice video game in my head. But if that's the case, maybe swap Supergirl with Wonder Woman, and that's not that far of a stretch, right? For him to be using someone powered.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a clever way to, like, if, you were talking about, bottling up like a whole, area. It could be like, oh, maybe why haven't we seen Themyscira or Amazonians in a while? Like, well, Brainiac's scooped them up, That could be interesting.
Yeah. While we're talking about here, I just pulled up the news articles, and apparently they start filming this in April of next year. So I'm going to put that in here. Nicholas Hoult just confirmed filming April 2026. So I think we'll probably get some announcements fairly soon. Casting, probably in the spring for this. I'm looking forward to see, visually how Wonder Woman's going to look. She has I would say she has a lot of variation in her costuming over the history of the comic books, where like Superman has been mostly like either he has trunks or he doesn't have trunks, and the variations between that are pretty minimal. I feel like Wonder Woman has a little bit more variety, so I'll be kind of interesting to see what Gunn goes with. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, I think... you think he'll lean traditional? He feels like he leans traditional in his outfit designs that he is greenlit for the show. Like a bowl cut Green Lantern, Hawk Girl's traditional, Mr. Terrific was what he used to look like in the comic books. I imagine it'll probably go look at like some 50s or 60s Wonder Woman, like maybe like Linda Carter era Wonder Woman.
Maybe there's like a kind of like a 2010 era of Wonder Woman that has like kind of like black pants on, and like a little bit of a jacket, which looks kind of badass. But who knows? The costume will be informed by the type of character that he writes. So that's probably what we'll.
Yeah, I still think her being the muscle for Brainiac would be a smart swap along the way. But we'll see how that plays off as they get into production and kind of try to speed this up a little bit. Mike, that's the episode for this week. Unless you got anything else, let people know what you're doing, what you're up to, where they can find you at.
Yeah, they can read my webcomics at pickledcomics.com and liferewardsrisk.com. Chris, if people want to catch up with you, see what you're making on Thanksgiving,
you
can find you?
Find me on Instagram, Valdan87, VALDAN, or Video Game Systems of the same name. I went and bought my brine ingredients today, Mike. I am ready to brine some turkey. But if people want to know more about the show, where they get past episodes, all the other things that we've done over the past, what is it? Are we at 10 years? 10 and a half years?
I think so.
10 and a half, 550 episodes. Okay. This is our 550th regular episode, today. So where can they get all them goodies at?
Oh, head on over to superheroslate.com. That's where Brainiac's got us all bottled up. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, wherever else you're listening to podcasts. We're more than likely there. We got merch at superheroslate.com/store. Reach out. Let us know how you're preparing your turkey. Chris is brining it. I bought mine pre-cooked and smoked from Costco because I ain't got time for that.
No Popeyes?
But it was delicious last year.
Yeah.
Maybe Popeyes at some point in time.
Okay.
It would be fun. I would like to have an untraditionally seasoned turkey.
Yeah.
It's always just kind of like the same poultry seasoning. I like something a little different.
Maybe if we get together for Christmas again this year, we could try a traditional turkey.
That'd be fun. But we love our super fans. So if you want to be a super fan of this show, all you have to do is share the show with a friend, share the show with a buddy, and we will be here next week, folks.
That's right. We'll see you next week.
Bye.